And welcome to episode 1 NeverImage Radio Podcast. I'm Chris Dinardo.
And I'm Pat Bruno.
And welcome. You got something to talk about.
Yeah, I think today we're going to talk about our 5 favorite guitar players.
Now, this is favorite. This is not like what you think the best of all time is.
Exactly. This is what we were influenced growing up, and what we liked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what started us to play guitar and all that stuff. So,
because if we had to cite the top 5 best guitar players of all time, it would probably be a different.
Oh, no Vi, no whoever.
Yeah, they wouldn't be on either of my lists.
Not mine either. So,
actually, if you're going to go best of all time, it's like 1 through 17 is Hendrix, and then everybody else.
And everybody else can go.
Yeah, then everybody else is after that. So, all right, you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
If you asked me this like 5 months in advance, it might be Konami from Bandmade, because I think she's that good, and she's having an impact on the way I play guitar already, and I'm really just new to the whole Bandmade thing. And so I think that's pretty interesting.
Well, I totally agree. If people don't know who they are, just check them out. Bandmade from Japan, I believe.
That can play their asses off, and it's amazing music. But we can probably do a whole story about them at another time. I just think what they're doing is great. The music's great. The guitar work is great. But getting to my list, coming in at number 5.
Ooh, 5.
Because we're going 5 to number 1, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That would be Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath.
Okay, nice.
Riffs, solos, songs, darkness, rage. It's a lot of influenced me on, not only guitar playing, but songwriting. His tone, the heaviness of it all. Yeah, he would come in at number 5.
Well, believe it or not, I got him on my list. And so I guess I'll talk about him now because...
go number 5.
Okay, no problem.
Go number 5, because you might have a different insight about him than I do, so it's always cool to hear. So
I'm glad you got him on your list because...
how could you not?
I know. He's the riff master right there. Anyway, mine will be Ace Frehley at number 5.
Whoa.
On my list, I can't put him ahead of anybody else, but still Ace Frehley is my guy. He made me pick up guitar from 1978 when I Love Gun era, the Kiss Alive 2 era, when that's when I got into Kiss, and Ace Frehley was the one that made me play guitar. You seen that that poster of him with the the guitar smoking and stuff like that. I mean, that was like so cool when you were like a kid. You just wanted to play guitar. So is he the greatest guitar player in the world? No, but he's my guy, and he'll always make my list. You check out some songs like Love Her All I Can. What's the one on Rocket Ride? He's got some good stuff. He did some cool stuff, soloing wise. And
there's a reason I'm not chiming in, because I think everybody knows that he's going to be coming in later on my list.
Oh, without a doubt.
So I'm just kind of sitting here going, tell me, Pat, what do you think about Ace? Because I can go all day on him. And I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for. All these technical geeks who...
he's not one of those, but...
No. But all these...
He had his style with his vibratos, the way he bends his notes, and he was good for the time. He did...
He's good all time. Like,
right.
I'm going to go back...
I'm not going to argue with it.
But what I'm saying is there's a lot of technical people have no idea about guitar. All they know is notes, patterns, and what should I play here? Agreed. And they're just theory and technicality, and they have no soul, no heart, no beginning, middle, end to their melody in their work. And I'm going to expand on this later, but Ace Frehley does not get the credit he deserves. He's influenced a lot of people, and he made guitar cool, but there's a sound that comes from him and his hands and his grip. And the way he grips the neck is a lot different than how everybody else grips it.
Listen, I learned everything I learned when I first started was off of Ace Frehley.
And his grip is the reason why his guitar screams the way it does.
So, I mean, he'll make my list every time. I know, I mean, if you put the greatest guitar player list together, he probably won't make it.
He'll make mine. So you got Ace at number 5, and I had Iommi at
yes,
number 5.
because I couldn't put Ace ahead of anybody else on my list. But
okay. Let's see now. So we're at number 4. Number 4 for me is Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
The master arranger, the magician, whatever you want to call what he does with his bow, all that stuff, and his solos, his songs within songs. If I'm going to start citing songs that influence me, I mean, it's 10 Years Gone, Celebration Day. I remember when I was younger trying to figure out Celebration Day, and I just
many hours.
It was so much fun.
The whole thing with Led Zeppelin is, I mean, the whole band is on another level. I mean, they were just all of them. I mean,
the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like if I'm going to point out the greatest hard rock band ever, it's got to be Led Zeppelin. Besides, the Beatles, stuff like that. But still, Zeppelin, that hard rock formula, they were, John Paul Jones. I mean, it just...
such an underrated
great
bass
stuff.
player.
And Jimmy Page, it was just like, he could play the blues, he could play hard rock, he could do a little metal, he could do everything. It was just a great package of, guitar playing.
Great songs.
I agree, 100%.
Absolutely great songs. And him as an arranger, producer for me as well. I know we're just talking about guitar playing, but how he brought the instrument in and out and of songs and used other instruments. I mean,
Eddie Kramer, big part.
Yeah, absolutely. And John Bottom's kick drum.
Yeah.
But for me, when I was little, though, my family said I didn't leave the house without 2 albums, and that was the Beatles' White Album and Led Zeppelin 2.
Right.
And so Jimmy Page was just, and still is. Every time I listen to Zeppelin, it's always, I take these like long breaks from listening to Zeppelin, and then once I hear him again, I'm like, what the hell? Why did I take a break? And then all of a sudden, I'm like listening to nothing but Zeppelin for 4 months straight.
You hear the song so many times. That's, it's like you get burnt out over the years.
I don't know. I don't think I could ever get burnt out on a lot of that stuff. I mean, I'll never listen to Stairway to Heaven again. It's like I just have no reason to put that on, or Black Dog or stuff like that. But if Physical Graffiti comes on, I'm not shutting that off.
No.
You just let it play through. Even like the stuff with like Coda and In Through the Outdoor and Presence. I love that band. And so I got Jimmy Page in at number 4.
Nice.
Who's your number 4?
My number 4 would be Eddie Van Halen.
You went there.
Yeah, I had to go.
You went there.
I'm Mr. 80s Nights right here. So, Eddie Van Halen. I mean, when you first time I heard like Eruption, that was like, what I'm saying, it was something different. The finger tapping, but he was more than that. If you listen to his rhythm playing too, Eddie Van Halen wrote some, some good riffs back in the day. So it wasn't just all about finger tapping and stuff like that. I mean, I grew up on it. You grew up on it too. I mean, you don't forget one time Eddie Van Halen in that late 70s, early 80s, he was considered one of the best guitar players at that time.
He still is.
I agree, but
I'm not saying he's not.
If people don't remember at that time, he was, considered one of the best guitar players at that little time going, from late 70s, early 80s. He was one who showed all those people, those 80s guitar style guys, how they,
Yeah, basically,
they all came off from him. Yeah, I mean, they all start copies the way he did his runs and everything. So, and even when I was a kid, that was,
For me, my Van Halen is Fair Warning and Diver Down. And that little package of music there. I'm not saying I wasn't a fan of Woman and Children First or the original album or Van Halen 2. There's great stuff on it. But the Fair Warning album, to me, is like... is like a dirty album. Like
Right.
to me, like Fair Warning by Van Halen and Funhouse by the Stooges
Right.
is like sleazy, dirty rock that I just love.
Yep.
The albums are dirty. The production is dirty. It's heavy.
Don't forget it. His guitar too. I mean, I'm not. If you think about it today, his sound back in the day was, you know, it was fresh, but today it's too much though. You know,
I
maybe
don't see.
he
Like
was loaded with a lot of delay, chorus, flanger.
but when you got a great song, it works.
No, I know it works.
You know, like you.
I mean, I
hear-
wouldn't personally use that type of sound because it's too much.
I'm always jamming out to like little guitars.
Right.
Like it's one of my favorite songs to play on guitar from him and drums. I love playing that song. And like I said, the whole Fair Warning album with like Sinner Swing and
Yep.
Unchained and the instrumentals, just the way that album was. David Lee Roth was very just open and just it's a crazy album. Like people should go revisit the Fair Warning album. So I got no problem. I mean, Eddie's not on my list as, you know, influencing me or my favorites, but you can't play guitar and not enjoy what he's done or brought to the instrument.
Totally
it just
agree.
doesn't make
and
sense.
I know you dabbled back in the day yourself.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm more of a, you know, because I come from like the more of the punk, the more of the
Right.
like, you know, I'm not clean with my guitar playing. I'm not, you know, but the talent's there, and I love a lot of the Van Halen albums, not just songs. And here's an interesting thing about Van Halen, since we're on the subject. At 1984,
Right.
I'm out. I'm out. For something happened on that 1984
You know
album that I was just in it's so easy to blame it on the keyboards. I'm not going to do that
Right.
because I do enjoy I'll Wait. That's a great song.
I don't hate the album. I mean,
Hot for Teacher's a great song.
yeah. And then what was the other one?
Panama.
Panama. Listen, it was right for the time. You know what I'm saying? Jump. I mean, I don't care for a song Jump, but that
Yeah,
was such
I-
a major hit for them when that came out on MTV. I don't hate the album. I mean, to me, it's not, you know, the classic Van Halen sound.
You're
and
going to
what-
go
what-
home and spin Top Jimmy?
No.
That's what I mean. I mean, if you listen to Fair Warning, there's not like a bad like millisecond on that
No,
album.
I agree. But that was like the MTV era there. You know, they
I was
did
out.
Jump. You know, I mean, Panama came on right after that, I believe, and you know. Anyway, so go ahead. Who's your next guy?
So number 3. Now this is where my list gets hard because the top 3 I could just like push almost together into like 1A, 1B, and 1C. So do you know who it is? I don't want you to guess, but do you think you have an idea? I know you know there's 2 people on my list that I haven't mentioned yet. So did you pick up on
well,
the third one?
I might, but I don't want to say it.
All right.
Is it the picture right there?
No, it's a picture up there.
Okay, good.
That would
Wow,
be
nice.
would be Alex Lifeson from Rush.
Okay.
Such a huge influence. Huge influence in so many ways. And Rush is always, you know, the technical band. But you listen to Alex's work, Alex is the comedy in that musical. All the music that, you know, Neil and Geddy, you know, are making, Alex was always how could I put it? He was like the mayhem amongst the technical stuff.
Okay.
His solos were just like, you know, even the stuff like in the 80s, which I love. You know, I know that even Alex is he said he's not too much of a fan of the keyboardy
Well,
Rush.
that's when the keyboard came in, sure.
I don't mind it. Like for me, my era of Rush is Hemispheres
Right.
to
What
probably Counterparts, even though I like the newer stuff.
Right.
But my like window for Rush is like huge. It goes Hemispheres to Counterparts. And I love every album, every song, every minute. Like even Power Windows. Like
Right.
I love the keyboard work on that
I
stuff.
did too. I don't mind. Subdivision's one of my favorite songs.
That's
by
off
Rush.
Signals.
I mean, that's definitely my favorite Rush song. But Rush is like, you know, Led Zeppelin, man. Unbelievable band, completely. You know, they are just from top to bottom, dude. Top notch, dude. And you know,
I mean, listening to the first time, like, you know, I keep pointing to this record because it's right there, because it's framed there and it's there for a reason. It's got such an impact on everything I do, that whole album. And the beginning of it with Spirit Radio, and I've never heard anybody point this out when they talk about it. He's doing like the old radio frequency, like newscasts that are coming in from like the 30s and the 40s. You know, when they had the lights blinking in these old like radio films and whatever that you see, that's what it sounds like he's doing. And that whole song, everything he does has impacted me. And Rush as a band, even though I didn't know how to play keyboard, you know, growing up.
Well, you were actually, when you started playing, remember you started picking up the keyboards, you were doing it on your guitar.
Yes,
remember?
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah,
I was like,
excellent stuff. I remember you were bringing that stuff out in your playing. You were like doing keyboard stuff on your guitar. It was
huge
great
influence.
Stuff.
It's a lot of Rush stuff because, like,
and you still do it today.
Yeah, I do, and that's exactly why. Because, you know, I don't want to bring a keyboard on stage, and the guitar for me is more than just rhythm and notes. There's sounds.
I agree.
And when you could do things to make sound to support the rest of the band, I'm all for it.
Well, you were doing that on a song Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a guitar, but it's something with the keys will play, and it works perfectly. You know what I'm saying? You just got that great sound in the mix in there. So it sounds like, you know, it's a guitar, but, you know, you can replace it with a keyboard too.
Right.
And it's great stuff.
Rush is a huge influence, and Alex Lifeson, you know, just his riffs, and learning how to play with super competent players, you know, that's, you know, so hard to do. So you have to be able to play and not play when you're playing with great players.
Right.
You got to know when to, you know, to step up and be a virtuoso, and you got to know when to like step back and enhance what they're doing.
I know. And believe me, that's one band I wanted to see live, and I never did.
What?
I know. It's bad.
What?
I know. At least I've seen enough of them, you know.
Not the same.
No, I agree.
Not the same.
Listen, I'm totally disappointed.
Yeah,
I never did. I had a couple opportunities to go. I don't know why I never went to go see Rush. It's like, that's one band that I should have seen. You know, it's sad.
I saw them.
And they might be around.
First time I saw, no, they're not. They're done.
Yeah, but you never know. They say that stuff. Then.
No, I think Neil is done. Neil is like reading books and riding motorcycles in the middle of the forest.
Until the promoters come up to them and offer them money.
They don't need money. What do they need money for?
Yeah.
And once Neil says he's done, he's done. The only thing I can possibly see them doing, maybe ever, is if there's like a giant festival, and they surprise headline a festival like Riot Fest or like Coachella.
Okay.
Something like that. Like if Rush shows up to headline it.
I still think the promoters offer their money. They'll do it.
No, because Rush has sold out every show they've played. This is what people don't understand. Since I want to say since the Roll the Bones tour. Even maybe
before
that, they've sold out every single show for every tour.
Right.
So it's not like promoters don't give them money. There's only so much money you can make.
Yep.
You know, they're filling every seat. They're selling merch. They're doing all that shit. So it's not like, you know.
They'll be back.
I don't know.
They'll be back.
If they're going to be back, mark my words, it's going to be festival. And
we're going though, right? You're going to take me.
Of course. I've seen them on Roll the Bones. I've seen them on Counterparts. I've seen them. I seen that last tour was great. Right. Oh my God!
If I know that was going to be their last tour, I probably would have went.
Dude, they played "Losing It" off Signals. I almost like fainted. Right. You know, I mean, you probably have no idea what that song is, but
you show me later.
It's just a weird like keyboard like violin type song. It's like weird, but it's great. And that's the thing about Rush too, is they'll play everything.
Right.
You know, so that was good. So that was my number 3. Who do you have in at number 3?
Number 3, Tony Iommi.
All right. Well, we already crossed it.
I know. Well, the riff master. I mean, when I started playing guitar, I mean, the easiest songs to play were like, you know, Iron Man and Paranoid. You know, they were easy songs. Anybody can pick up a guitar and play, like, you know.
See, I was a nut job. So, like, I didn't really like those songs. So when I first got into Sabbath, the first one I picked up was, like, my favorite Black Sabbath song is Symptom of the Universe.
Okay. Okay.
So
a great song. I mean, of course,
that's what I taught myself.
Then one of my favorite songs by them is War Pigs. I love War Pigs. I can never get enough of War Pigs. That song, crank it up every time. To me, it was just, another great band. And it, got me into more of the metal, heavier side of music. And, it was easy to play at the time, learning that stuff, because they were just, fifth chords. And then once you start learning how to play some leads, it was, you can get in there with leads. But, Black Sabbath's a great band, dude.
What did you think of the last late Black Sabbath albums, like Never Say Die and Technical Ecstasy, right before Dio came in?
Right.
Because I feel those albums do not get enough credit as they deserve.
Well, what my favorite album is, right?
Heaven and Hell.
My favorite album, that's
because Dio's your favorite singer.
Exactly,
so
that's nice.
You got Dio in there with one of your favorite bands. I mean, how could you go wrong?
Yeah.
That's.
I didn't hate those albums. There's some good cuts off of some of those albums, but the earlier stuff for me was just,
I like it all. It's just, for me, it was like a transition.
No, I didn't hate them. It was just a little different at times, But like I said, I really loved Sabbath when Dio came in and did Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules.
Right.
I just still to this day I play those albums.
As heavy as the old Black Sabbath was with Ozzy,
right?
For some reason I just think they're 10 times heavier with Dio.
Right.
Those Mob Rules is probably the heaviest Sabbath album.
Right. Falling Off the Edge of the World was another great song off of that album. Sign of the Southern Cross. I mean, they had some good songs.
And possibly my favorite sung Dio song is Wishing Well.
Right.
To me, that song is like, dude.
Great song.
I don't know why more people don't listen to that song. And I don't know why Black Sabbath buried it. I don't know. Remember when they got together with Dio and did those series of reunion shows?
Yeah, they didn't play the song.
They didn't play Wishing Well, and I was just like, are you...
Well, they played pretty much everything else off that album besides
Except for that.
Wishing Well, and there was another one they didn't play, but everything else was pretty much covered.
Did they ever say why they didn't do it?
No.
What a great song, man.
Yeah, really good song.
The solo, and probably like the guitar work in that song.
Everything in that song is great. And one of my favorite solos off Heaven and Hell is Neon Nights.
Okay.
And I love that guitar solo. It's probably one of my favorite Tony Iommi solos, and it just has so much feel to the whole song. It's just great. It's great stuff.
Awesome. So, all right. So we both agree on that.
Oh, yeah. Of course. I mean.
So I'm at number 2.
Sabbath. Yeah. Go ahead.
This was hard.
Well.
This was very hard. I mean,
I know one of them.
It was hard enough.
Oh, no, I know 2 of them.
Yeah, of course you do.
I know that's 2. So
now we're going influential and favorite.
I don't think I really did. Besides my number 1, I don't know if I really did it by order.
Well, I'm doing it by order, and it was very hard for me to put Lifeson at number 3, and the only reason he's at number 3 is because the people who are at number 2 and number 1. And this could definitely be 1A, 1B. So coming in at number 2, Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr.
Nice.
When I was little and just burnt out on guitar because all I was hearing was finger tapping, delay.
Right.
In my opinion, really awful guitar players who just soloed and couldn't play any rhythms. Couldn't write any songs. It was a depressing time for me. And, I was young, it's not like I was, super old, but it affected me. And as soon as I heard Jay Mascis play, I was back with the guitar. It's a little about how I feel hearing that girl from Bandmate play, Konami. I mean, I'm just like hearing her doing stuff, and it's like, holy, whoa. Like, it's insane. So for me, with Jay Mascis, a Dinosaur Jr., if we're going to go the best guitar players of all time, and I know that's an entirely different list, this guy sits number 2 behind Jimi Hendrix for me.
Okay.
Because I put everything into it. I put melody, I put punch, I put songwriting, I put soloing, I put body of work, what he does acoustically. Like, you can't, like, Steve Vai is not going to show up, pick up an acoustic guitar, and sing you, you know, songs that you're going to remember or know.
Right.
You know? Like, Jay Mascis will pick up a song and play Quicksand from David Bowie. Right. You know? Jay Mascis will show up and just sit next to Pete Townsend, and him and Pete Townsend will play. I mean, there's a audio of them playing together.
I'm agree with you 100%, because you turned me on to them. I mean, we're talking about rhythm playing. You don't hear that too much with guitar players. I mean, his rhythm playing is amazing.
Yeah,
you know that. I know because I listen to them. His lead work, amazing. He's like, he attacks the guitar. Not too many people attack the guitar. I mean, when he hits a note,
he don't care.
It explodes.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
He can play sloppy. He can play a little technical. He got everything in between. I mean, it's just like, it's a mash of like, oh, look at that run. And then he starts playing like a little sloppy. He's like, but it still sounds great. And just, I mean, people, it took me a long time to get past his
vocals.
Vocal part. But music-wise, amazing guitar player. Amazing guitar player. I mean, he's a guy, like, he can write songs. I mean, he can, you know, his rhythm playing, that's where it really stands out to me, is his rhythm playing. He's got, you know, he uses stuff that people don't really use in their songs.
And you don't notice it.
No, you don't.
You don't, if you're like just sitting
here. He hits
here.
everything, too. When he plays, I mean, those open chords he does, he has like 4 or 5 different variations of those chords, you know, and it just works so well in his songs, you know. So, listen, 100% great guitar player.
He also counter rhythms himself in songs.
Right.
Like, he'll play like 2 parts and play rhythm off a lead lick that he's doing. Right. And kind of cut the guitar in half.
And he's got that style too. It's like, is he hard rock? He does those metal riffs. He does those, you know, he's like all over the place with his songwriting. So it's good stuff.
It's got an edge to it. It's got, for me, you know, it's got a little bit of the punk rock in it that I need in my music. He just changed the way I saw guitar, because I was looking at the guitar and I was like seeing like these guys doing these solos and these finger tapping, basically trying to be Eddie Van Halen, and just posing with the instrument. You know, I felt it. Like that. I just felt it was like Poserville.
Right. I agree.
And when I saw him, I'm like, that's it. He doesn't care. You know, he's there for the song, he's there for the show, and he's there for the band. He's not up there for himself.
Like, exactly. You're talking to those 80s players. Take a guy like George Lynch, right? Wicked soloist. Amazing.
I agree.
But his rhythm playing,
dun 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 dun. They get that shoulder going, like that's going to enhance it.
It's amateur time. There is nothing to his rhythm playing. It's just basic chords. He's not a good guitar player.
It's probably all these guys in like the 70s and 80s that sat in their room and just wanted to solo,
just hit notes
and had
all day.
No idea how to write a song.
Well, he listens to Doc and stuff. I mean, it's bad, his rhythm playing. But of course, when he comes in with the solo, it's like, holy shit. I mean, at the time, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, exactly.
And I do like some Doc and stuff, so I'm not gonna like knock him, like, but he's just like everybody else. It's like there was no rhythm.
Nothing.
So hearing Jay Mascis, again, like Hendrix, making songs. And when you're a great guitar player who fronts a band and makes songs, who else is there? Give me a great guitar player who could solo his or her ass off and write great songs and front a 3-piece.
I know. And people should check him out. If they don't know who he is, I mean, just go check out anything from Dinosaur Jr. and, you know.
And Jay Mascis in the Fog, too. The solo stuff is just...
you know all that stuff. I don't.
No, but answer my question.
Yes.
Give me a guitar player who fronts their band, can solo their ass off,
there's one guy.
Write great songs,
one guy,
and front a 3-piece band.
One guy.
Who?
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. That's why I say, for me, that's why I put Jay Mascis second.
Okay.
Because it's everything.
Right.
And I know I was just thinking, like, popping in my head, the guy from Triumph, what's his name?
Oh God, I don't know his name.
But he qualifies for that, even though I'm not a big Triumph fan, and I'm not saying he's a hack, but he would qualify in that question I just asked.
Yes.
You don't go for Triumph. No, Hold On to Your Dreams.
No, it wasn't.
Fight the Good Fight.
Fight the Good Fight, and Late on the Line. I think the other one was.
Yeah.
I wasn't a Triumph fan. I mean, there was a couple songs I did like for them. They were like a poor man Rush band. You know what I'm saying?
You think so?
Yeah, it was. They were like similar, like Rush, but not as good as Rush.
You're number 2.
Number 2, Randy Rhoads.
Whoa. Did not expect that.
That's where I learned all my metal licks, my friend.
I did not expect that one.
All my metal licks came from Randy Rhoads.
So Randy Rhoads' Quiet Riot?
No.
None? Nothing from that? How
Not
could
at
you?
all.
He's your number 2 guy, but
He wasn't nothing like when he was with Ozzy.
I can't even reference any Quiet Riot stuff that he played.
I checked out some stuff. It was just nothing really. I mean, I guess he didn't come into his own yet. You know what I'm saying?
Was it bad?
No, not bad. It was just,
Amateur, like
no, it
not
wasn't
produced
amateur.
well?
I can't even remember, dude. I checked it out a few times. I didn't like it because it was Quiet Riot to begin with. But forget about Quiet Riot, dude. I mean,
Mental Health, great album.
Well,
It'll drive you mad.
anyway. I mean, that's what really made me start playing like metal style guitar. It was Randy Rhoads, man. All those metal licks he did, off the Blizzard of Oz album. I mean, he has short work. There wasn't that much you can judge him off of,
I got to say one thing about him. The first time there was a song that just, there's a few songs that come along in my life as a guitar player or as just a rock music fan. Like the first time you hear it, it like changes you.
Right.
For me is when, and this hit me when I was little, and it still impacts me to this day, is when the heavy part comes in on Diary of a Madman.
Oh, dude, amazing stuff.
I used to play that part over and over and just get possessed. And then soon as Ozzy...
You feel that. I mean, you just... It is powerful, that piece.
And then as soon as Ozzy came in and sang, I would, pick the record needle up because it's vinyl and go right back. Because to me, and then I also love the end of that too, when the riff comes back.
Right.
And you hear Ozzy let out, like, it's almost like he's dying.
That's like a classical piece right there. Very heavy, you know what I'm saying?
That knocked me for a loop.
Really good stuff.
That to me was like awesome. And
Over the Mountain was on that album.
And
that's a good song.
His solo on Mr. Crowley is one of those tearjerkers.
Yep.
Like after you know what happened to him in his life, if you go back and like listen to that solo,
right,
it's kind of like The End of Floods by Pantera with Dimebag.
Yep.
Like listening to
you were telling me about the other night.
Listening to that now, it just really makes me cry. It chokes me up. It's like it's just heavy shit. So
you hear a lot of that stuff when I was playing, back with the Flick Haze full time. You heard a lot of that little Randy Rhoads tricks I put in some of my songs, But
yeah,
it was fun to learning some of those licks when I was a kid. They struggled, they weren't easy at the time, but because a lot of it was kind of new,
He was one of those players that didn't make me want to play. He made me want to listen.
Right. He was doing well at the time, Ozzy. I think he didn't want to stop, And then soon, came in,
Jakey
Lee. Ozzy was on his way pretty much. I mean, Bark of the Moon, that riff right there, that's a great riff with Bark of the Moon,
Yeah, I like
solo
that
at
album.
the end.
Yeah.
I mean, a solo Jakey Lee does at the end with that super guitar stretch. I mean, it's like insane. So,
and I would like to hear The Ultimate Sin done with different production.
Yeah. Take all that production out of it.
I forget the producer's name, but he was like a pop producer who glitzed up everybody and was a pop producer for back in the day. And he also, the same guy who did Ultimate Sin, I believe he also did Crazy Nights.
Oh, that's
so it was that kind of crap. And I would, not that I don't even want to hear Crazy Nights ever again, but I would love to hear The Ultimate Sin just stripped down,
right,
like Bark at the Moon was,
right.
Because I think those are some good songs on there.
Yeah, Ultimate Sin, it did have that production. It just had something layered over the whole thing that made it kind of like big. You know what I'm saying? You needed more rock out of that album.
Yeah, and what was cool though, even though like I say that I don't want to hear it with that pop producer, but then again, if that guy's not producing, you're probably not getting shot in the dark. Which is,
you don't think so?
No, that sounds like a song Ozzy would write.
Well, I don't know who wrote it technically, but
I mean, Ozzy probably wrote the lyrics, but
right.
You remember the video?
Of course.
With the girls getting in the car, and it was just like, and
she gets possessed at the end, which is in the convertible.
And it was like, it was different because you're not used to seeing Ozzy in videos.
Right.
I mean, the last time the guy was on MTV was Bark at the Moon when they had that concert from the Ritz. He came out on stage and smashed a cross on the big crucifix on the stage. And you're just like, okay. And then all of a sudden he's in glitter and moving around and you know pointing.
It was like a long trench.
Oh
white
my
stretch.
God!
What video was it? He came out from the
Lightning Strikes.
No, he came out from the rafter like
Ultimate Sin.
Oh, was it Ultimate Sin? Yeah, he was.
Remember,
he's
also playing the Oil Man in that video.
Right. I haven't seen that video in years. I mean, shit.
It's funny.
It is funny.
So
everybody sold out at that time, dude. You had Oz. Even Dio was wearing fucking glitz and glamour at that time, you know? Yeah, when he did
Don't Talk to Strangers. What was that song?
No, it was after that. It was what's the album there? Dream Evil, I think it was. You know, it had Rock and Roll Children.
See, I like that song, and that video was good too.
Yeah,
because I was little.
Yeah, man. Was that off of that album? I can't remember what album it was off of. Oh, Sacred Heart, I think it was off.
Okay.
That's one of the two. I haven't listened to them in a while. Got them all confused right now, so it's one of those.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't think everybody was popping out because, like, the stuff that I was listening to, like, when metal went that direction,
right? I
went to Dinosaur Jr.
Right.
I went to Fugazi.
Right.
I went back to Agent Orange on my skateboard. Like, I still, even though Iron Maiden got a little glitzy,
yeah,
I still thought that was heavy. I still love Somewhere in Time.
Oh, the Maiden, it was
Metallica, it was Slayer, it was I was going some other place. So you know. So all right. So you Randy Rhoads number 2. I was not expecting that. All right, my number 1. It will be to no surprise of anyone who knows me.
Woo.
Or could like
look, still on?
Look right to the right. Yeah, you're still good.
Yo, I'm sorry.
It would be Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley, baby.
Now, again, like Hendrix and like Jay Mascis, he makes music. He writes songs, you know? Just like Hendrix and just like Jay Mascis, no one is ever going to like confuse them with Pavarotti anytime soon.
No.
But they have character in their voice.
Right.
Character in their guitar. And that's what comes across. He is not technical, but who says technicality is needed?
It's not.
In guitar.
It's not.
Melody.
No.
You know, having a beginning to an end of a solo, telling a story in a solo, that's important. Like I was referring to before, his vibrato from his grip.
Right.
The way he squeezes that song.
Dude, he could write a solo on one string.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to take one of the songs. I mean, Firehouse, he does those bends into those chops.
Dude.
You know, I mean, he's basically doing it on one string, you know what I'm saying?
Or he gets the most out of one note.
Right.
Think about the solo, the live solo in Strutter.
Okay, it's the same thing, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
And the whole band's moving and changing behind him, and he's like right there, freezing it.
What you call, Gotta Choose?
Got to Choose.
I mean, that solo is great. There's nothing much to it, but you could just hear how he starts bending into those parts, you know?
The thing I love about the Got to Choose solo is when the band changes that last Who's Your Baby, and Peter Criss starts doing that fill, Ace starts walking into the solo before the solo starts. Boom, that's
when Peter Criss comes with the cowbell.
Yeah, and it's like
it works well.
Yeah, very underrated. I guess looking back, you really can't take any member out of Kiss and think they would be successful.
Man, maybe Peter Criss. I mean, he could probably got a different
You see that?
there.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, if it was anybody, you know.
Don't forget, Peter Criss before 1977 was like Keith Moon. Yeah. I'm not saying as talented as a drummer Keith Moon, but his attack and his energy was the reason.
Boy, just listen to Kiss Alive. Right there alone. Peter Criss, that's by far his best.
Yeah,
best performance. I mean, it's Kiss Alive from She, Watching You, Parasite. His drumming is great.
And that album,
totally great.
That album made them who they were. Without Kiss Alive, they would not be anything. Okay? Yep. And who is the only live player on that whole album?
Peter Criss.
There you go. So
don't tell all the fans this, and they're going to think the album.
His drumming performance on Kiss Alive is the reason, it's that good. Yep. It's a live show. And if your drummer's weak and not playing good, it's not going to be much of a live album, you know? It's going to be a snooze fest.
Well, me, that's one of my favorite Kiss albums, right there, Kiss Alive.
So, but getting back to Ace Frehley, it's, I got to say, even, the last album he did, that Spaceman album, I did not like at all. I like the first minute of Mission to Mars, and that's it. Every other, it was the most painful album listening experience I've had in a long time.
I listened to it once, and I'll never listen to it again.
Yeah,
that was it. One time only.
I was, I have my theories of what it is, but I'm not going to say it because who the hell am I? It's Ace Frehley.
Dude, it was really no effort into it. I mean, you know what really hurt the whole album?
Bad songwriting?
Well, the lyrics.
Bad production?
The lyrics.
Yeah, but you're not...
Dude, they're bad, dude. They were bad. I mean, I think he's just singing stuff like, it's bad.
You're not rocking with the boys?
No, you know that too, dude. Come on, dude. What was the other song you were singing? Rocking with the Boys, and then I had that other Bronx Tale or some shit.
Bronx Boy.
I mean, what the fuck's going on here?
And then another song where he's saying, give me Elvis or something.
Yeah, that's bad.
I'm like,
dude,
oh my God.
That is really bad.
But anyway, we're talking about his greatness. From this 1978 solo album I think, is one of the most revolutionary hard rock albums ever made.
I agree.
It's got riffs. It's timeless. You could put that on now and it doesn't sound like some 70s dated dad rock album. You could spin that album with anything today and it sounds fresh. You have a song like Wiped Out where people do not realize he's rapping.
Right.
That's a rap song. If you listen to Wiped Out, it's a rap. To me, Wiped Out is very similar to, and I'm not saying this guy's influenced by Ace Frehley at all, but it's very similar to Eminem.
Yeah.
The first Eminem record of these stories, like the Mushroom song, all that, the song is basically...
I don't know too much about Eminem, but...
The song Wiped Out is basically about a drunk trying to make it happen with a chick on a date. And he can't manage, and he ends up going.
I mean, story wise,
yeah.
Oh, okay, now I understand. Now, okay, of course, yeah.
And but the went to the party, just done it. It's all rhymes. Right. It's all bars. It's all on beat.
And know what makes that whole album?
Wait, I'm not done with that song.
All right.
And then the hook.
Dude, you'll have to explain to me. Great song.
And then,
I can listen to that album
what Anton Fig's doing in that song.
That's what I'm saying. Anton Fig makes that whole album, and great drumming from Anton Fig.
Yeah. So
and right from the get go, Rip It Out, just how it starts, bam, right into it, man. Just
remember that? So did I finish and put that on?
It's just right from the get go. You're hooked.
Could you imagine listening to the solo albums and you hear Paul Stanley's album? Okay, it's good. You hear Gene, you're like, what the hell is this? Then you hear Peter Criss's album and you're like, where's Kiss?
Yep.
And then as soon as you put Ace's album on, you're like, thank you.
Well, Eddie Kramer, he produced it.
Thank you.
Stuff.
Hey, I love me some. I think Eddie Kramer did the best stuff with Kiss.
Listen, that album. I mean, I know New York Groove was the hit, but there is not a bad song personally on that album for me. I can listen to every song. I mean, I'll probably skip New York Groove, but New York Groove ain't a bad song. But
when it comes on, when you're listening to that whole album and New York Groove comes on, it's one of those moments where you're just like, oh yeah. This is on here too.
Yep.
And we're covering What's on Your Mind. Okay. We're doing so many covers. It's crazy, but
good.
What's on Your Mind is just it's just a fun cover to do. And I just added so much in the outro solo and the singing and so it's a lot longer than the original.
Right.
But it should be all right. And still going on with Ace, it's like, I love Space Invader. When he came out with that album, I just thought that was a throwback to Kiss. To me, that was like a continuation of what Kiss was doing, 78, Dynasty, then Unmasked, and then like something like that. It was like a heavy, fun record.
I dug that album compared to his, what was the one before that one?
Anomaly.
That I don't think the album stunk, but I just thought Space Invader had more of a rock feel to the album.
It did. It was more of a complete. I love Anomaly, but you're right.
That was more Ace Frehley, that album. You know, he went back to his classic soloing. You know, and you know, it is what it is. I mean,
and I even like
the 78 album. Just put it at. We could just end it right there. Boom.
Well, here's another thing about Ace Frehley, and so I know we're supposed to be talking about guitar, but his demos in the 80s.
Yeah.
That never got released, like Girl Can't Dance, and
there's a few good ones he had.
Audio Video.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of them.
But some of them from the 70s too, I believe. Some of those demos. I think some of them probably.
There's just such great stuff that's never going to see the light of day. I wish he would do a new wave record. Like a spaced out new wave record, put those demos on there, write some newer, wackier stuff, kind of like, you know, the intro to Mission to Mars and stuff like that, and just do like a heavy, spaced out new wave rock record. I think he should do that, and I think those demos from the 80s should be in on that.
He's doing that cover album again coming out.
Yeah, and
He's got a bunch of songs on it.
I can't listen to Origins.
No, it's not. Listen, people are into that stuff too, but to me, I want to hear original music, dude. I want to hear covering. The best stuff he probably covers was the one Kiss song.
From Creatures.
From Creatures. I mean, that was awesome right there.
Rock and Roll Hell.
He had nothing to do with the song, and he covers it. I mean, that's good stuff.
Do you think he played on Creatures at all?
You know, he might have been in on something or two, but they probably never used it. He probably was there, and just it was the end of it. I'm not sure. People talked about it, but I don't know. I don't hear his guitar playing at all on that album.
I do. There's one song.
Which one?
And it's not this. It's Saint and Sinner.
You know, I'll have to listen to it again.
It sounds like a jam that him and Eric Carr and Gene would have had. If you listen to it. Oh, well, if I told you Saint and Sinner was Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons, and Eric Carr, it sounds like, and now I'm not saying it is, and probably a million Kiss fans are going to be like, dude, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's not there.
Well, they did have like four guitar players.
Yeah, they had people walk in and say, play this, and be like, you know.
Even Vinnie Vincent, he didn't play that much on that album. He probably did like 3 songs on that album. And the rest were just guys just coming in and out.
They had the guy from, you know who played a lot on that record?
Oh.
The guy from Mr. Mister.
I heard that. I read that.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw him in an interview talking about that, actually.
Yeah, I think that's his solo on Creatures of the Night.
Okay.
And
that's not a good solo.
No?
I don't like it.
It doesn't bother me.
I like a Bruce Kulick play.
But think of the solo in Saint and Sinner.
Oh, well, I can't. I right now I just can't think of it right now. I have to go back and listen to it.
But yeah, Ace Frehley for me. Even like solo stuff, like some of my favorite solo, 90s stuff from him, like Lost in Limbo. Love that song. Yeah, he's the best because of how cool he made the guitar look,
right?
How he made it sound, his position in one of the greatest bands ever, which is why I can't stomach anything Kiss has done since 2000, 2001. It's not Kiss to me. It's just not.
It is what it is. It's all about making money, dude.
Whatever. For me, he was so instrumental of the power of that band. I just think he wasn't allowed to be who he was musically. So
that's why the 78 album came out.
Yeah.
He exploded, man. He had so much stuff like written or built up, man. He just had to let it out, and he let it out on that album, dude. If he put those out songs in those Kiss records, dude, especially on Love Gun and maybe on
could you imagine like Rip It Out on Rock and Roll Over?
Oh, yeah, I know.
You know,
That would have been great.
Yeah. So
Even Love Gun could have used that.
Yeah.
You know, because I think it was more in the Love Gun era if that anything would have came out.
So
you know, some of the songs.
All right. So I went long on that. So
yeah, man, you have to.
Who's your number one?
Well, you got to know who it is, right?
Let me think. I'm drawing a blank here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God! How long do you know me for?
Oh, why am I drawing a blank?
Bro,
Wait,
you know me fucking forever. You don't know who my all-time favorite guitar player is?
I'm drawing a blank.
Wow.
You said Iommi.
Mm-hmm.
You said Eddie, Ace Frehley, Randy Rhoads. Oh, I got it. Do I want to say it or?
I'll say it.
Go ahead.
Mr. Ritchie Blackmore.
Yeah.
The man. You know that, man.
I forgot.
I can't believe that.
No, it just took me a minute.
Yeah, you got burnt out.
Yeah.
I think that you were too long on Ace Frehley.
Probably.
You lost like everything there.
It happens. Ace could do that to you. He sure can.
So, I mean, everybody, I guess, knows something from Ritchie Blackmore, right? I mean, to me, he was the only guy that really, you know, out of my group of guitar players, really played with feel. It was just all, you know, off the top of his head. I mean, if you listen to all those early Deep Purple's live cuts, Rainbow, I mean, everything was all feel for him, man. He did what he wanted to do. He was a more, you know.
Did he play the same solos live that he wrote on studio albums? No, not once. He just wung it?
He did Highway Star. He pretty much played note for note all the time. But everything else, he just blasted off, just like Jay.
Yeah.
Same way Jay Mathis did. Did I say his name right?
Mascis,
sorry. Just the same way. Whatever he did in the studio, he never played live again. It's just that's how he was. He just played whatever the fuck he wanted to play live, you know. And I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm more of the traditional guy that sticks with the same solos.
Right.
But he just, he was nasty. He did what he wanted to. And one of my favorite bands is Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an album called On Stage. And just that whole live album is great.
A bootleg, or is it a real album?
No, it's just a legit album.
Okay. Legitimate album?
Was that legitimate album?
Legitimate
album. Okay. Some of his best stuff was on that album. It's called On Stage.
And it's not like the studio stuff.
We mean studio stuff.
It means the solos on that live record are not what's on the studio.
No. Like you'll take Man of the Silver Mountain.
Oh, that's my jam.
But his solo is totally different from the album. Even everything on that album is great.
Don't hate me for this, but
I know what he's gonna say.
I love the way Vivian Campbell played Man of the Silver Mountain with Dio.
I don't hate it. It's good.
Oh my! It's just so much more vicious. Like,
yeah, but the time was different, though. I mean, they played that in the '70s, and by the time
it sounded a little too honky tonk. Went dun 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 dun.
Well, that was off their first Rainbow album.
But then you got Vivian Campbell, like, it's like he's.
Well, if you listen to the on-stage version, it's quick like that too.
It is.
They play it fast. The studio version's very slow. It's like really dragging, dude. But live, they pick it up. Not as intense as that, but
you know what?
But what's you call too on the drumming too? You had what's his name on the drums, pounding his shit out.
Cozy Powell?
No, it wasn't. Well, that was with Rainbow. Yeah, I'm talking about with Dio.
Okay. So what's funny is now that I'm thinking with Man of Silver Mountain, it's tying me into what we were talking about in the beginning with Bandmade.
Right.
The part in Man of Silver Mountain. I forgot. I don't know the lyrics.
I'm a wheel.
No, not the wheel part. The pre-chorus.
Calm down the fire.
Yeah.
He's doing with those licks. Yeah.
She's doing a lot of that.
Yeah, you're right.
In a lot of their stuff.
Yep.
All over the place. Right. Like, again, I can't.
Yeah, he's kind of like breaking those chords up and picking them individually. It's nice.
Yeah. So, he's great. I like a lot of the Rainbow stuff.
Don't forget, there was commercial with Joel and Turner. Too.
That's what I was just gonna say. I like the Joel and Turner Rainbow. I like the Graham Bonnet Rainbow.
Yep. What was one of your favorite songs from Joel and Turner? Can't Happen Here, I think.
I like that.
That was like one of your songs, wasn't it?
That's because I love the riff.
Right. And he uses that riff a lot. That's the same riff he uses a lot too. It's a common riff.
And the solo in that song, and then he kicks it into I thought it was great. And
his stuff with Deep Purple. If you listen to Deep Purple studio albums, it doesn't capture the band.
No,
you have to listen to them live, dude. I mean, they just go nuts. They'll take a 3-minute song and make it 15 minutes. And that's what they're really about. They were just about jamming, you know. You put them in the studio, they want to play perfect, and there's no feel to it. When you put them live, dude, John Lord on keys, and they just went nuts.
That's the guy who's like, I thought he was gonna knock over the Hammond.
Yeah, he shakes it, and hangs it upside down and shit. Yeah. So they're a really good live band. In the studio, they haven't captured the sound, but you take them live, Deep Purple, Rainbow. And whatever Ritchie Blackmore is doing today with his...
He's back in Rainbow now.
Yeah, a version of it. Yeah, but it's more of his, what's it called, band? I don't even know what you call that.
The Friar Tuck stuff he was doing?
Yeah, dude.
What was that?
I don't know. Renaissance music it is, really.
Hey, if he's your number one guy, you're not along for the Renaissance?
I checked it out. I'm not, am I into it? No. It is what it is. If he's happy playing that stuff, I mean...
Yeah,
so that's all it is. Yeah, so who cares? I mean, he's got his wife singing, so he's not paying anybody besides her and him. The other guys are probably getting nothing. So, he's done with the rock. He said he did some Rainbow shows out in Europe. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they were just festival things. That was just an easy paycheck for him. You know what I'm saying? Just to show up and play some songs. I mean, Deep Purple's still playing today, but it's like...
What's it like Kiss with like 2 members?
It's worse.
It is?
Yeah, I mean, to me, Deep Purple was... Ritchie Blackmore and Lord fucking, back and forth, just soloing the shit out of each other. They're back and forth, And we're going to have, what's his name, just singing? Who cares, really? So,
But that's good. So that wraps that up. So
yeah, it was interesting. I mean, your surprise one was, who was your surprise? The guy from Rush. I was surprised you put
Why? Dude, I'm obsessed with Rush.
I know you love Rush. I know. And that one, and what's your call? Tony Iommi, too.
Yeah,
I didn't think he was going to make your list. No.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people that,
Dude, I had a lot of people. Look, I love Zeppelin, and I didn't put Jimmy Page in there. I mean, there was a couple guys I couldn't put in there. I wanted to put Page in there, but I felt these other guys were more, when I was especially getting into the 80s part of music, that influenced me more than, Jimmy Page did. But I love Page, Zeppelin.
All right, so we're ready to wrap this up. Thanks for joining. This has been NeverImage Radio. I'm Chris Dinardo and
Pat Bruno.
And we'll see you again soon.
All right, good night, guys.
Peace.